So, yeah, what I'm going to do today is have a little look at Affinity Affinity Publisher, and you can come on that jolly ride with me, and we'll see how it is, shall we? From download to using it. Right, let's get over to that. So this is the tweet that I saw. Obviously, we have a little link here. Let's crack on, shall we? Download for free now. The price is definitely right. What I'm going to do is just take this off here so you guys don't see. My email address, hopefully. Right, if you do manage to find my email address, please don't send me loads of rubbish. So we'll just wait for that to download. It shouldn't take too long. Righto. So there we go. Yes. Ooh, that went a bit weird. I think it's funny that they have this little beta logo thing on all their icons for the beta versions. Okay, so it doesn't apparently want to start by itself, so let's open it. So I've never seen this up to now, so I don't really have a huge amount of idea of what it's going to be like. Few tutorials. Do we want to do that? I have got quite a few tutorials already here for us, which we might come back and have a look at, but for now we'll just have a play around. It's much more fun just diving in there, right? Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that, but I do, so it is what it is. I managed to get a tweet which was responded to by a really famous YouTuber-y, social media-y geek, and now my phone is just blowing up. Not with people replying to me, but with people replying to that tweet. So that's great. So apologies if my phone is distracting me a little today. Whilst I'm on my phone, I'm just going to quickly go onto YouTube, make sure that the stream is working properly. and it appears to be. Hang on, what? Yeah, we'll take that as a win. My God, my nose is running profusely all of a sudden as well, which is nice. Always waits for me to get online before doing something ridiculous, so excuse me 2 seconds. Just what everyone would go online for, to hear a ginger man sniff. Righto, so if we think about what we might want to make here, let's say we're going to make a... Shall we just bug around with it a little bit before we start trying to make ourselves a project? A4. Oh. Vector persona, photo persona. A compatible version of Affinity Designer is required. A compatible version of Affinity Photo is required. So evidently, does this mean that the newest versions of Photo and Designer are not okay? Because I have got a beta version of Designer, and I have got... This might not be up to date. Let's have a quick look. Now that being said, this is still not going to be the beta version, so I don't know if this is going to work with it or not. I know that I was using Designer yesterday, so that's definitely up to date in terms of the actual released versions. Oh, my beard's looking a bit weird today. I think it's because I had it inside my hoodie earlier. It's strange that Photo has got a different repair. Oh, hang on, I know what I did here. Downloaded an old version, even though it says download version 1.6.5 there, I still decided to go old version. Good idea, Charles, well done. Right. I mean, I'm not super concerned about its integration with Photo and Designer. It would be nice to get that working. Maybe I'll have to get a new beta version. But anyway, let's have a look. So if we had a brochure, for example, Got some weird little things here. Let's have a look. Mike's water treatment supplies. What does this do? Oh, this must be for linking if you're going to do writing from one text box to another. This is just a title that we're trying to bang out here. So where are we? This is not changing. There we go. Now I'm going to assume, I don't know what this is that I changed over here. Let's put that back to default, shall we? Right, so if we go back to this text here and we said we wanted to have now I wonder if I can make this into columns. So there's a frame text tool. There must be a columns. You must be able to do columns. Columns, here we go. Although it doesn't seem to have done a great deal in terms of this one. There we go. So this is when you kind of look at something that someone has made and it looks like just a massive wodge of text. Typically it's because they haven't realised that columns make text, like a large amount of text, look much better. I wonder if we can do alignment on here. Possibly not. Let's get some text to put in here. Now if we go paste, it's white text, so it's not going to show up. Weird. It's pretty massive as well. I don't need that. I'm sure there's a way of selecting it all at once, but there we go. I don't know it. So we've got the columns in the text writing, which is good. Obviously that's shooting off down the end here. This is a master page anyway, so you wouldn't put text into your master page. Just wanted to see how that worked. Let's get rid of that. The whole thing I'm talking about. Oh, come on, come on! Right, so I can't delete all the pages in the document. Apply master. Okay. Right, so now we have our master page, which is brilliantly a thing that says Mike's Water Treatment Supplies. Okay. Let's give it a 3-column bit of text here. Put the text in. So this is going off the bottom here, fair way, which is quite strange. Add pages. I don't know why that's happening like it is. Where's the little very strange. I don't seem to be able to select the text box. Can I select the text? It's only letting me do this one, or not at all. Weird. So I've obviously done something here which is not happy with. Oh, that's very strange. Why would I want to be able to do that? Nonetheless, maybe if I'm using my tablet, that'll be good. Anyway, let's not do that. So now, at this point, I don't know how to get any control back over this. I can just draw on it. Let's not do that. How do I get this back? Oh, I've just made another text box, which we don't want. Have we got layers on here? Yes, we have. So this. It appears that I'm going to need to make, when I make a new text box, I want it to be on here. Alright, that seemed to work. I think last time we were making the text frame in the actual master template, which was not what we wanted to do. Let's put the alignment tools on. Alright, so let's paste the text into here again. Now, what I was trying to see is this little chap here. I think, yeah, which is what I expected. It basically means that now if I were to delete text in here, so we just delete this whole paragraph, it moves the text up through this. So you can imagine in a complex document where you've got multiple text fields all around the pages, you don't want to keep going in and copy and pasting the text out, realising that there's big gaps appearing. So what you do is you can link them all up using these little I don't know what the tool name will be for this, but the sort of link here, what does it say? Doesn't say anything, but so you can end up with multiple things. So if we go and make another one here, and then go bosh, 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 bosh. So I don't think that would be a very good way of doing it, because people are going to read down and then suddenly they're going to have to... I'm just trying to see how this works, okay? Let's make this slightly smaller. Weird that that has put in such a big space at the bottom here. Whatever. What will be interesting also, ignore text wraps. No, we don't want to do that. What if we put in a circle in the middle of this? Does it rearrange all this sort of stuff? I am imagining that there must be some setting that we can do. So what I was hoping was that this would like move the text around. How do we do that? I saw that there was a tutorial on this exact thing, so you can do it. It's just a case of, can I figure it out, or do we need to... Ah, here we go, maybe it's these. Yeah, here we go. So you can see that as I move this shape through the text, it's moving it all around it. So obviously it's unlikely you're going to want to put a big blue circle in the middle of your text, but you might want to put a picture of Mike and his, or a water pump or something like that. We don't have it inside. Square, I don't really understand why anyone would want square. No, I think tight is the one. That's interesting. It doesn't seem to do anything either. Or maybe it does in a bigger box of text. Well, I suppose it is doing that. But anyway, we don't want that. If you're watching this and you have any questions, by all means pop them up in the chat and I'll try my best to address them. Let's have a little go here. If we... Do convert to curves, and then start messing around. Yeah, that's alright, that's quite nice. I mean, don't get me wrong, when I say it's quite nice, I don't mean that my random waggling of lines is nice. I mean that the feature is quite nice. Yeah, so I mean, without being funny, I think some of the things that I want from my publishing tool that I can't really do in Designer is stuff like the ability to flow text from text box to text box, have it wrap around stuff nicely, which it appears to do. I'm assuming that we can, yeah, change the margins that it's going to give quite easily. I wonder where it arrives at the 1.1 from. Anyway, we'll let that be what it is. Wonder what else we have here. Pitch frame tool, place image tool, rectangle, blah 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 blah. A table. It's a bit annoying that these don't work with the current versions of photo and what is this saying? That's a bit weird. Oh, hang on, we've got a request here. I'll have a look. I'll put a table in. If you let me know exactly what you want to find out about tables, then, because I don't really use tables very much, so I'm probably not going to be the best at deciding this, but in terms of, there are tables here. Let me see if there's any exciting. Do we have any context buttons just for that? Not that. Table format. So there is a table format box. What is this going to show us? I don't know anything about really tables in publishing, so I'll happily have a look. So inserts, da 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 da. There are a bunch of settings in here. I don't recall actually where I got asked by this how many cells and stuff that I wanted. Is this the kind of, I noticed that Jeremy in the chat has asked about tables, but what do we want to find out? These just look like text. Can we put pictures in here? It does not look like it. What a shock, Udemy sale has been extended. So I don't really know what you want to know in here, Jeremy, in terms of what the table can do. There are tables here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals. So it's not doing spreadsheet stuff by the looks of it, unless I am being super blind on that. Not entirely. So it's definitely says it's got auto fitting in here. Is that on here? I just saw it a minute ago. Edit default. Interested in the ease of use to be able to merge split cells and insert pics or text auto fit. So there's a lot of auto fit column to contents. So certainly as far as text goes, let's try and get a square into one of these cells. I don't know how you'd even... Oh. So you can stretch them out. In terms of... I'm interested in the ease of use to be able to merge and split cells. So copying cells from one table to another, I'm guessing is what you mean by that. This is a terrible demonstration of tables. I don't know. I never have used tables in a publishing. See, I don't understand how it decides how many. Alright, so you just drag it out and it will add more and more, and then I guess you can bugger around with that. Let's delete this one. And once it's made, it just stays the same amount of columns, obviously. That's right, I suppose. So merge cells. So merging cells seems pretty easy. You can just select the ones you want, merge cells. Separate cells. What is that on its own? So that's interesting. You can also separate them back. Is this the kind of thing that you want that you're asking about? So you can merge and separate cells pretty easily by the looks of it. Insert pictures and text. Where's my lorem ipsum? Insert text from a file, insert filler text. No problems. I mean, I literally have no idea how tables get used in a publishing program, so if you have any, like if I'm not doing anything or I'm doing something obviously wrong or whatever, let me know and I'll try my best to sort it out. In terms of, can we put a picture in here? Let's get a picture. Oh, I would guess not in that instance. So that didn't place it into that anyway, did it? Place image tool. Wow, these images are like coming across massive. I'm surprised it doesn't shrink it to a more usable size. But anyway, I didn't put it into the table. Oh, I mean... Yeah, certainly. I mean, in terms of moving the table around, it's not. I mean, I've even got the snapping tool turned on, which is going to limit it. Well, not limit it so much as it just tries to align it to other things in the page. So, for example, if I'm moving this around, I'll get rid of this picture. If I'm moving this around and trying to get it to the middle of the page, I know that if I get it near the middle of the page, it's going to see that green line comes up. That's going to be, well, that's not even aligned it to the middle of the page. That's aligned it to the middle of the above table. This is what I'm talking about. It kind of starts trying to guess what you want to align to. If we go to the middle of the page, so that has aligned it there to the middle of the page. You can kind of see by the, whatever that is, the safe zone in the document already. But then if I wanted to get this table and align it to that table, you can see that green line comes up. I don't know, you might not be able to see it on the stream, but there's a green line that shows me that. At the same time, the other side, I could align the middle of this table to the edge of that one. Little numbers come up showing you how far away things are from each other. That's pretty standard across all of the Affinity products. If you don't want that to happen, you just click this little magnet up here, and then you can put them wherever you want. Extend it out, rotate it, and then still like snap it to the middle of the page. There's the middle. So yeah, the only thing I can't really see how you do is put an image inside the table, which you may be able to do. I just have no idea where you do it. But that being said, I guess if we put a circle into our document here, and then change this to, ooh, it is not wrapping to it. I don't really understand what's happened here. I've managed to somehow split off the, oh dear. Everything's going wrong. I think it's trying to make me put text inside my circle, which I'm not trying to do. Right. What have we said here? Guess images can just appear on top as their own layer. It's all good. Are there options for adjusting the line thickness or opacity of the table, or just in general? In general, there definitely is. Let's have a look on the table. Oh no, that's the stroke of the text. Enable page origin editing. Enable page guides editing. Table buddy. You can sort the cells as well, which is quite nice. What would I have in terms of? Right. So I think this is what you were talking about here. Thickness or opacity. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that we don't want a fill on this one, but stroke. So we can go around the outside of it. It's the same things as on normal Affinity here. Dotty line. even a line style. All right, inset, stroke and fill. So, by the looks of it, yeah, you can do all that stuff. Change the colour. Make it noisy. I mean, yeah, it looks, to be fair, it looks like you can literally get involved and do whatever you want to these tables. I mean, that is pretty disgusting, but there we go. So the text wrap on the circle here doesn't seem to affect text in the table, is the only thing I would say. But I mean, I guess if you've got a table, you can just, because see, it's affecting the text in here, how I'd expect, but it doesn't do that in the table. Does it on the master document still, but yeah, the table is not affected by that. But I guess, you know, there's only so much. If you're putting text into a table, I guess you're doing that to control it a bit more, so then just don't put a circle right into that bit. Yeah, I mean, in terms of, is this table easier to use than Word? 100%. I'm not a big Microsoft Office user. I tend to use Google Docs, and Google Docs is probably more constrictive than Microsoft Office in terms of what you can do with tables and stuff like that. Certainly, as far as I have been able to figure out. But this seems to have all the stuff. I mean, I don't know how I get it to show it in like a side-by-side view. What if we... What if we select this and then it'll have spread properties. Nope. I was hoping it was going to, I can put them two side by side, which I'm sure you can. Drag to marquee, select, click object, select it, yeah. I guess you can, like, using this table formats, have predefined format, so like the colours and stuff that you want to use for your tables, and just bang them out using that. Not something I'm probably ever gonna do too much. Convert to donut, convert to pie. How do we change? So it's changed it to pie, but I don't know how to. Oh, here we go. Oh, hello. How we... There we go. That's quite jazzy. Yeah, I'm assuming that you can. I mean, all publishing things I've ever seen, you can have pages side by side. View mode. views, zoom. Retrieve margin from printer. It's got some jazzy bits and bobs. Facing pages. There we go. That'll be what it is. Now I just have to figure out where I haven't set that. Document. There we go. Side by side pages. Now, what I want to see here is if I make another load of text in here. Oh, we've still got my purple table. Right. That's not what I want to do. Right, let's get my donut. So there we go. So now it's shifting text around on 2 pages around one object, which is quite jazzy. I mean, I'm assuming that this is going to be around the same price as all the other Affinity products, so about sort of, was it £40? I've already got a photo and designer, and I've got it on my Mac as well. So I mean, I've made a reasonable investment into the Affinity ecosystem, or whatever you want to call it. It's quite frustrating that I bought it on my Mac and then built a PC, which is what I'm on now, which is significantly better. So I will get this. I mean, I do programs and stuff like that for my American football team, and this will be handy because doing it in Designer takes a lot of time, mainly bugging around with text and trying to make it fit into spaces, and then when you change something it changes and blah blah blah. Just an absolute pain. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that would immediately come to mind. Problems that I've had with I wonder. So I think we're still probably going to be, I mean, what I was thinking of there is one of the things I've tried to do before in Designer, which you can do in newer versions of Designer than the one I happen to have, is put videos into documents. So if you'll publish them as a PDF, you can then have a video playing in the PDF. Makes the PDF massive, like I'm aware of that. But what I've previously done is be able to put videos and embed YouTube videos into documents so that when you publish them as a PDF, the video is there. I certainly can't see a way of doing that here. So this is a picture frame tool, which I don't think we can insert a video into by the looks of it, unless I'm missing something. Oh, that's quite interesting. So if you put a photo into that, then you can stretch it about independently and rotate it and so on and so forth. And then, for example, if we wanted to change this, and if we go back to our, yeah, so if you have stuff, yeah. No, that's all good. I mean, this is largely what I'd expect, if I'm honest. Have been waiting for this for some time. And everything seems to be pretty well what I'd expect. What's funny is that the difference between this and designer is not a lot. But then again, you could also say the same for designer and photo, especially when you consider that the raster side of designer, you can do a lot of stuff that I would have been doing in Photoshop and stuff anyway. But at the same time, I do photos, have raw images and stuff, so. Righto. I wonder what happens if I go onto my beta version of Designer. Is that going to update to the newest beta version? There's a new version of the beta. Please download the latest version from the first from the download. Sorry, just popped on here to get the newest version of Designer, and anyway, let's go back and get that beta. Need to have a valid key, which I always remember off the top of my head. Now the issue with beta is that I don't know whether that's going to work with this beta version of... Oh, hang on, I've got a cup of tea here, it's going cold. So there is somebody watching, and I appreciate you watching. Is there anything on Publisher that you want me to have a look at? I don't know whether it's still Jeremy who's watching, but by all means, if you have any thoughts or you want to see anything on here, let a brother know. Let's see, if I was going to make something, let's have a little thing. Right. So if we drag a Affinity Designer file in, and that seems to work fine. What can we do in terms of, doesn't look like we can do anything in terms of editing it. Oh, apparently we can. Not that I want it now because it looks like an absolute freaking mess. This is handy. How do I go back? That's the question. Strangely enough, Control Z is not letting me go back. Well, that's interesting. Oh, it's gone into it as a separate document. That is quite interesting. Embedded. So I could turn off individual layers here. I don't really know how. I want to get rid of this chap. How do I do this in here? Oh, that is not what I intended to do. Definitely prefer the colour picker in the in a designer, etc. Or maybe that's just a thing that they're doing to make it a value proposition. Oh my word, that is much easier to do in this version than in prior versions. Oh, I'm glad that happened. Jesus, can MLAP forget Dalek? Ooh. Right. I am not into this. I want my colour wheel. Why is it only selecting that word? This is not what I wanted to do. And what percentage is that? 62. Let's see what I can do here. So this does work like how I kind of wanted it to, so that's good. So the reality is now you could just sit there and make this right. Or have done it right in the first place, which would probably have been a better option. Let's just do this real rough. Really rough and unpleasant. If anyone has any questions about Affinity Publisher, when I say questions about, I'm talking about stuff I can check because I have no real pre-existing knowledge of this package at all. Then just put them in the chat and I will be all too happy to try and discover, because at the moment I am just messing about, so to speak. And in terms of looking at instructions, it's not really how I roll. So you'll have to sit there and watch me flail around trying to figure stuff out without looking at the instructions. Oh, you're such a boneheaded guy, man. Why don't you just read the instructions? Yeah, that's me. I am that guy. Still, I find sometimes when you don't read instructions, you end up figuring out stuff that other people, or maybe not necessarily finding out stuff that other people couldn't do, but finding different ways to do things that they could, which may or may not be better, but at least it will result in different things. I don't really want my stuff to always be the same as everyone else's. Ugh, that is nasty. So is that. Why have we suddenly gone to round circles? That's what we like to see. There we go. Actually had a couple of viewers there for a minute. The fame went to my head. I went crazy. That didn't happen, and also, if you're watching me, I appreciate you. So anyway, although this has taken significantly longer than I would have liked just to do for this, and it is also horrendously done, it answers the question that I asked, which was, can I do this? Can I mask out things directly from photos in Publisher? And the answer is yes. The problem is, at the moment, I'm kind of thinking you can do a lot of what I do in Designer in Publisher, but I've already bought Designer. Oh, have fun. Oh, well, it's only money, eh? This is my good friend Eddie, balling like an absolute baller right here. Look at him, he's even got the sort of sideways like, oosh, yeah man. So anyway, let's put this somewhere in here. Maybe make it a bit bigger. Conscious the best thing above that. High resolution photo there that I got off Facebook. Oh well. That's just really annoying me. I have to change that. There we go. Haven't actually tried it, but yeah, zoom in and zoom out is the same as on Designer. What the hell is going on with my font there? What is going on there? It's like the stroke has gone crazy. Oh, let's not be harsh. So, what's weird is I don't want this to do that, I want that to do that. So if I click back on this, that's okay. That makes sense. I don't know that the font size makes sense, or the font itself, to be completely honest. Oh yes, that's taking legibility to the next level. Ooh. I think Calibri is one of my favourite fonts, just for being able to read. It's quite strange how it like continues down out of the box. What is this little fella? Oh, there you go. That's quite cool. That's something that I don't know whether they have it in the new version of Illustrator, but it certainly wasn't there when I first used it, where you can basically see whether the frame is overflowing and turn it on and off. I quite like that. Handy. Give that 2 columns. Bosh, bosh. Why is that like that though? What happens if I just dump a photo in there? Nothing when I looks at it. Oh, I did that time. Strange. See, this is the good thing, that when I'm writing this stuff, I can just put it where I think it looks best. Let the program figure out how to wrap the text around it. I mean, every now and then it's going to go a bit crazy and there'll be like one word off down by itself at the bottom. But we don't want that. But now what happened? How can we preview just these pages? That does it export to EPUB? Let's have a look, shall we? Export. It does not look like it. It has got HDR, strangely. EXR, EPS, WM. I don't know if you can see this on the screen or not. PNG, JPEG, GIF, TIFF, PSD, PDF, SVG, WMF. EPS, EXR and HDR. Whether or not there is a plug-in or something. I mean, I doubt there's one already because this came out today as far as I'm aware. Let's see what it does in terms of exporting to PDF, because that's one of the things I do. I'm going to assume these are all decent to start with. And just give it a run out. So, yes, I'm going to say it does not export to EPUB that I could see. I mean, I've dabbled in EPUB like years ago, but isn't that largely just text and stuff? Like, you can't do advanced formatting in there, or have they changed that? Because I remember I had the option of doing EPUBs or iBooks, and iBooks were like you could do all the sort of formatting and the rich media stuff, and in EPUBs you couldn't. Now, whether that was just the crappy bit of software I was using, I don't know, but let's have a look at this then. Where are we? Test. Yeah, sure, open a PDF in IE. Oh, it's a bit weird that it's put a black line around the edge. Maybe that's something I've done there. That might be a stroke. It looks horrible. I mean, in fairness, I have done a horrendous job of lassoing them out, but in terms of the PDF, it looks fine. Obviously, I don't think I would do this over the top of them in real life. I mean, nothing of this is what I would do in real life. Please don't judge my work on this. This is just me buggering around. Yeah, I can see there's a stroke on this now. Let's get rid of that. Gone. So in terms of like the ease of, or not even just the ease, just what you'd expect. Don't be wrong, like I realise I'm not doing a multi-100-page publication here, but in terms of, you know, I don't know, if anyone has any other questions, what am I doing, Daddy? So I was unaware that one of my unknown children was going to be online today, or else I probably wouldn't have come on here. But what am I doing? I am having a look at the new Affinity Publisher program beta that came out today, and making like a fake document. What are you doing today? It's strange that one of my illegitimate children was called Shadow Punisher. My face cam is frozen. Oh, this is rubbish. Right. Thank you for letting me know about the cam. My Elgato cam link seems to not be extraordinarily reliable, I have to say. Are we back live again now? Good. About to sleep. Wish I was going to sleep. It's 12 o'clock. How frustrating. I hate when that does that. I can't tell whether it's my camera or my cam link or something else. But if I disable it... You're Australian, I'm Australian. What part of Australia? Perth, West Australia, I represent. Now I'm very much in the UK. New South Wales, not bad. I've been there on holiday, it was grand. Manly Beach. Humorous name, Pleasant Beach. So layers work as would be expected. What options do I get on here? Range. What is this chap? That's weird. No idea what that does. What have we got? Snapping tolerances. What is this fella here? Set behind selections. Align. Standard stuff. There's no tools there that are surprising in any way. So we're going through these options up here. Save history of document. Undo set baseline grid. There's a whole lot of text stuff here. Table of contents, text wrap settings, edit wrap outline, spelling. I mean, in fairness, some of that might be there in Designer, etc. I don't use it, so I couldn't tell you. There's a whole lot of table stuff. Evenly distributed columns. So. Well, there's nothing that's particularly blowing my mind in terms of new features in the menus there. I mean, certainly nothing that isn't expected. I don't really have too much more to really do at this point. It was just a first look to see whether there was any crazy stuff here, and there's certainly nothing staggering that I'm seeing. But not. I don't want it to sound bad. I don't want it to sound like I'm moaning about the program. It's fine. It's rather than a criticism. It's that it's doing what I'd expect. It's a bit of a bummer that these guys here don't work. This is the newest beta, I think, of Designer 165.112. And if I press open the vector persona, the compatible version of Affinity Designer is required. There's a new version of the beta, please download it. So I think I already just did that, so let's get cracking on that then. I want to show you my downloads folder because who knows what might be in there. No, in fairness, I haven't got a tiny SSD in this computer. There's nothing exciting in there. quite weird when the old, whatever it's called, security shield comes up and makes the stream stop working. Oh, I've been ignoring people on the old... As I said before, I've got a tweet which got replied to by Casey Neistat. And he wasn't replying to me, he was replying to someone else who was in the same tweet as me. Or he replied to my reply to someone else. Whatever. Now, I've just got so many things going on Twitter which are not really anything to do with me. Which is interesting. Oh well. Social media, yo. Alright, let's see. So now... Oh wow, it's gone up by like 11. Or I should say .11. Alright, so now if we press this... So basically we cannot try that feature. I've got both Photo and Designer and neither of them work. I haven't got the beta version of Photo because I've just never needed to try it. I have got the most recent beta version of Designer. I literally just downloaded it. It's right here. Let's save this. Close it and then open it again because maybe it needs to register that there's a new version. No. Well, I'm going to go out on a crazy limb here and say that that is going to be it for our initial look through of Affinity Publisher. I'm sure there'll be many people making better overviews of this than me in the very near future. But hey, what are you going to do, eh? If you want to see me buggering around with Affinity products in future, hit that subscribe button. Sound like a proper YouTuber now, hey? I would appreciate any comments, etc. Just so I can try and make my stuff better in future. And also, if you think of any questions or whatever that you want to ask about Publisher, Designer, Photo that I can try out, I'm probably not going to know it off the top of my head because I know what I know, which is not everything, but I'm happy to try stuff out and figure stuff out for you guys if you have a question. And yeah, hit me up in the chat or something, or on Twitter or Instagram. What are my Twitter and Instagram, you may ask? I feel like I have an answer for this problem, this question. There we go. There we go. Get on it. Follow me on stuff. Also, if you see my camera frozen, let a brother know.